As we come up on 4 o'clock this Tuesday afternoon, we start with breaking news coming from Littleton, where a pipe bomb was discovered outside of a grocery store.
Police confirmed the device they found was a pipe bomb at the Safeway near West Mineral and South Broadway. 9 News crime and justice reporter Matt Jablow is at the scene with the latest. Matt, what do you know?
Kim, the call came into 911 right around 12:30 this afternoon. A suspicious device, possibly a pipe bomb, found in the alley behind this Safeway in Littleton. Littleton police say they quickly secured a large area around the supermarket and called in the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Department's bomb squad. The bomb squad's robot determined that it was, in fact, a live bomb, at which point deputies took it to a safe location and defused it. Littleton police say they're now trying to determine exactly what kinds of explosives were in the bomb and, of course, who put it there. Fortunately, nobody was hurt during the entire incident, and the entire area around the supermarket has now been reopened. Kim and Tom?
That is a busy area any time of day.
Scary stuff.
Certainly something a lot of people had to work throughout this afternoon. All right, Matt, thanks. We turn now to the man accused of trying to kidnap a 10-year-old girl outside of her school, now arrested by police. 28-year-old Diego James Gettler, charged with attempted second-degree kidnapping.
Gettler's parents recognized their son in the surveillance footage released by Thornton police and alerted investigators. According to the arrest affidavit, the 10-year-old victim was dropped off by her mother outside STEM Launch K through 8 around 7:20 in the morning on Friday. As the girl was sitting in her 4th and 5th grade waiting area alone, a man walked up to her and asked her if she went to school there. She said the man made her feel uncomfortable, so she stood up. Then the man grabbed her from behind. The girl said she began to scream, but he put his hand over her mouth. That's when she started grabbing at him and was able to pull down the mask he was wearing. The affidavit says at that point, it appears the man got spooked and ran away. No one else was around, so the girl banged on the windows until the school staff opened the doors for her. Investigators learned that Gettler's car was equipped with GPS tracking. They located his vehicle at the Home Depot in Parker yesterday and made the arrest. Denver wants to use $250 million to address homelessness next year. The city wants to create 1,700 new affordable homes in an effort to help get people off the streets.
Well, today the city council was hearing the latest plan to try to address homelessness in Denver. And 9 News reporter Cole Sullivan had a chance to speak to some of the advocates, and many of them say it's not going to do enough, Cole.
Tom, you're not crazy if you think you've heard before about Denver's latest plan to address homelessness. This is the city's 7th proposal since 2005, but city leaders say they've started to achieve their goals. 17 years and millions of dollars since Denver's first plan to end homelessness. Tents remain on the city's streets.
Is it enough? Not until everyone is housed, and that's why we won't rest until that happens.
6 floors above the sidewalk, the city has another plan to try to help.
We're using more resources than ever to get people as quickly back to housing and to housing stability as possible.
Denver's chief housing officer says the 2023 plan aims to create 1,700 more affordable homes, help rehouse 2,500 people, and serve 8,000 others struggling to pay rent. Advocates say it will not do enough.
If they meet their current goals, homelessness and the cost of housing is going to continue to increase, and the situation is going to get worse because the need is so great.
Benjamin Dunning with Denver Homeless Out Loud says the city does deserve credit for achievements from its last plan.
But this is the first time that the city has actually met or come close to meeting planned housing goals.
Federal pandemic relief money helped meet those goals, and the city is banking on it working again.
People in homes is what success looks like.
But the problem continues to worsen. The city says the newest point-in-time survey, which counts the number of homeless people in Denver, found the population went up 15%, nearly 5,000 people in the past 2 years. Still, the city says it's making progress, and this new plan will help.
Our actions when it comes to housing are less visible. You don't see people's house keys as easily as you see tents.
The Department of Housing presented its plan and its budget to City Council today. Of the $253 million it wants, about a third, documents show, will come from federal COVID funds.
Well, it will be interesting to watch what happens with this plan, Cole. It'll also be very interesting to see, as this will be certainly front and center as we close in on the mayoral race in Denver, some 8 months away.
Exactly. It's a big topic that a lot of folks are concerned about.
All right, Cole, thank you. We head now to the Gulf. Right now, Hurricane Ian taking aim. Florida is bracing. The powerful storm expected to grow stronger over these next few hours.
Hurricane Ian
A slow-moving storm right off of our coast, which is going to bring a devastating amount of water to the Tampa Bay area.
The worst thing is when you lose power. So you've got no power, no water. So yeah, I recommend have plenty of water, even if it's for a few days. So we're battening down the hatches.
Obviously, the people down there have been through this before, but this one's serious and it's slow moving. Schools closed today. Flights were canceled. We're looking right now, I assume, in the Tampa Bay area as we're awaiting the arrival of even Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis warning that those that are in the storm's path could lose power, as we just talked about, for a few days. And we're trying to find out more about the track.
The warning has been there, so that's triggered bumper-to-bumper traffic. People leaving, trying to get out. 2.5 million people up and down the Gulf Coast are under the evacuation orders. When many people went scrambling to find supplies at grocery stores, many found simply empty shelves and gas pumps also running dry. As for the federal response, President Biden said today he's already spoken with several mayors in the storm's path. FEMA has put 700 people there with several million meals ready to go, as well as tons of water to try to help storm victims. If you'd like to see continuous coverage of Hurricane Ian, you can download 9 News Plus. Among other things, we're streaming coverage from our sister station down in Tampa.
Here we have no problems at all. It's another beautiful September day as we close out the month. And I think it was around 80 when I was driving in, Kathy. What's it been? Upper 70s for the most part?
No, I think we got to 82.
Okay.
Yeah.
But as we look behind you there, we see the eye, and that is certainly an ominous look for the Gulf of Mexico.
Well, so well defined now, and it made landfall, scooted right across Cuba. It's about 260 miles off the coast of Sarasota, and due to make landfall, we think earlier than the projections we talked about yesterday, probably by about 8 p.m. tomorrow night instead of early Thursday morning. This will be one for the record books. From Tampa down to Sarasota, they haven't seen a storm like this. This is about a 100-year hurricane they're looking at. It has been a very long time since we've been threatened with 24 to 30 inches of water, a storm surge of 6 to 12 feet. This is going to be a very big story, and a lot of people, all eyes on the Gulf of Mexico and the folks across Florida, where a state of emergency remains in effect for the entire state tonight. And so, as we're kind of looking at the water vapor imagery, we're seeing now some well-defined waves around the outside of it. Winds will be hurricane force, 70 to 80 miles per hour, and lightning is starting to show up, which will be a good indicator that this storm will strengthen from a now Category 3 storm to a Cat 4, probably within hours. And then, as Kim mentioned, back here in Colorado, how lucky are we? A beautiful fall day, a few clouds, maybe a sprinkle if we're lucky. Glorious sky behind Fort Collins, hoping some of that rain makes it to the ground. 79 in Denver currently, 80 in Lyman, 81 in Sterling, 75 in Eagle. A couple of showers holding together, crossing the Continental Divide. Not overly impressed with this moisture, but there's a slight chance that we'll see one of these move through the South Metro between now and about 7 o'clock. So mid-70s now, we drop into the 60s after sunset. And in Maine weather, we're tracking those isolated storms mainly over elevated terrain, but we've got a nice warming trend heading into next weekend. And again, all eyes on the Gulf of Mexico and Florida with that Hurricane Ian continuing to strengthen this hour. So I'll have updates on that as well coming up in Maine weather.
Yeah, we are in the hour-by-hour count now. When you think of how far north or south Ian does hit, what different impact it could have.
Well, and Tom, a lot of people in Colorado have friends, family, homes, or interests in Florida. Florida and Colorado are connected on multiple layers. A lot of people reaching out today, and a lot of people really concerned, and rightfully so, about this dangerous storm.
Yeah. You think of, I mean, if you haven't been there, you travel there. I mean, goodness, Disney World, everything else. Everybody's been there.
Yeah.
Well, we know you'll keep us posted. We'll get back to you in just a bit. Thanks, Kathy.
New information today about a big mountain skier from Telluride who has been missing after she fell off near the peak of the at the peak of the world's 8th highest mountain.
Her name is Hillary Nelson, and she was skiing down from the near 27,000-foot summit with her partner when she fell. Well, bad weather hampered the rescue efforts yesterday in Nepal, but today the visibility was much better. The weather conditions improved, and that brought a helicopter in to hover over the mountain and look for signs of Nelson. Hundreds of climbers and their local guides were attempting to reach the summit during Nepal's fall climbing season. There was also an avalanche yesterday, but all of the climbers caught in that were accounted for. Nelson and her partner are extreme skiers. They summited Mount Lhotse, the world's 4th highest mountain, back in 2018.
A public interest lawyer filed a lawsuit over President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, arguing the policy is an abuse of executive order.
This appears to be one of the first significant legal challenges to that plan. Frank Garrison claiming that because of the forthcoming student loan forgiveness, he'll be forced to pay state taxes on the amount canceled. That's an expense he would otherwise avoid. The lawsuit is actually being backed by his employer, a nonprofit libertarian law firm. Under the Biden plan, borrowers under certain income levels could see up to $10,000 of federal student loan debt forgiven, or if a borrower also got a federal Pell Grant, they would be eligible for up to $20,000 of debt forgiveness. Borrowers will not have to pay federal tax, income tax on the student loan debt forgiven, but there are a handful of states that may tax the discharged debt if changes are not made.
Could a COVID rise in the UK be a precursor for the United States? We have details ahead.
And there is some good news for renters as far as if you're looking to sell your home. That's coming up.